Hello and welcome back. In our previous tutorial, we covered the basics of loading and analyzing ADANI stock data. This time, we will dive into more advanced analysis using hypothesis testing and machine learning. We will learn how to compare different stocks statistically and build a prediction model. The first thing we will be doing is setting up the required libraries. Let's start by importing all the libraries we will need and pasting it here. So we are importing a few things, call it from PySpark, row from PySpark, vector assembler from PySpark ML, linear regression from PySpark ML, and t-test and p-test and pandas. Let's run this. This is just some basic imports. Now let's move on to the next cell. The first thing we will do is hypothesis testing. Let's compare two of the Adani stocks statistically. And here we will be comparing Adani Power with ATGL. Let's write group A. And it's done. Let's run this. Okay, wait a second. Uh, I missed a backslash there. So let's run this now. So our Spark job has been ran successfully. Our analysis is done. Now let's print the first few lines. This will print the first few lines of the group A or the comparison between the two stocks, Adani Power and ATGL. And here you can see the result. Now let's move on to the next. Now let's print for ATGL. So we will be using the almost same command. Let's copy this and change a little bit things. Group B and let's also change the symbol AGL. Rest all is fine. Same, let's run this. Now let's print the first few commands or first few values of group B just to show you an example. Group B. So here are the first few values of ATGL. Now let's perform our statistical test. So we will be performing t-test and p-evaluation against group A and group B and show the hypothesis. Let's run this. Wait a sec. Here I have updated the code to run the t-test and p-value to run the t-test and p-value correctly. Now the statistics value comes out to be minus 34, and it measures the difference between the two stocks, and the p-value comes out to be 5.3, indicating a statistically significant difference. This means these stocks behave differently enough that it's unlikely to be by chance. Let's move on to the next cell. Now we will build a price prediction model. Let's prepare our features first. I will be pasting the code. So here, this will show our data if it is ready for machine learning or not. Let's run this. And here you can see our data. The individual columns for each feature and a feature columns combining all input values. The close price we want to predict, and now let's split our data and train the model. So go on to the next cell and run this. This will train our data for the model. Let's run this. And here it is showing the training records and the testing records. Now the next section will be to run the model coefficients. On to the next cell. Let's, and here is the code for model coefficient. These coefficients will show us how each feature influences the predicted price. So open, how open values or the stock opening values of that day predict the price or influences the price. Now we will be making some predictions to test our model. Let's give, wait a second. It was just a spelling error in prediction. Now you can see our result, how close vary the prediction price. Now let's visualize these predictions. So on to the next cell, we will use the visualization from PLT. Let's run this. This will create a visualization of the previous result. Here you can see what the actual and predicted was, and both of these lines overlap, meaning that our prediction was actually pretty good. Now let's move on to the next cell, and we will evaluate our model's performance by the R square test. Let's write, uh, let me give it like this. And also give the root mean squared error. Let's run this. This will show our model what the price variations are. The R squared test come out to be 0.99, and the root mean squared error means that our predictions are only off by about 7.68%. Now let's conclude. In this session, we learned how to statistically compare different ADANI stocks, built a machine learning model to predict stock prices, learned how to evaluate our predictions. The key takeaways were ADANI stock and ATLG show statistically different behavior. Our model can predict prices with about 92.3% accuracy, and opening prices and high prices are the strongest predictors. That's all for this session. Thank you.